Hey, welcome. So glad you're here. So it is the full moon. This energy is crazy, transformative, a bit chaotic. Hey, I'm Lisa. I go by Aiylah.
I'm Jamie. I go by Takata.
We are the co-founders of Temple of the Sacred Heart and Inner Goddess Retreats. So welcome. Thanks for being here. So we have some news for you. It's the full moon, obviously, and we are here to share with you some insights that we've found and some things that might be helpful for you to manage this energy right now. How many of you are having some turbulence come up navigating? Yeah, like give me a shout out, say, hey, yeah, it's coming up. So it's rising up in all of us in many different forms. And it's intense. It's super intense. Yeah. The window, the portal is open right now. And so we're going to share a little bit of a card reading. And we're going to do a card pull, an Astro Reading, and just kind of navigate this energy. So before we do that, we want to tell you a little bit about Temple of the Sacred Heart. You can join our free membership at innergoddessretreats.org. And this is a space where you can just receive the new and the full moon emails and also find out what's going on in our upcoming events. We offer plant medicine retreats, we offer ceremony, and we offer inner goddess retreats in Texas, in Hawaii. I'm working with a beautiful retreat center on the Caribbean side of Costa Rica, and we're going to be doing an amazing transformational yoga and surf retreat over there. And we just decided we're working and collaborating to go to Egypt. So yes, so if that has always called you, these are some amazing things that are coming up. We are based out of Texas. And so if you don't know us, I'll just tell you a little bit about me, and then you can share a little bit about you. So I am a coach, and I am also a yoga teacher. I offer Yoga for Love online training programs, 200 and 500 hour yoga teacher training. And in addition, I offer a business coaching course, which I'm just starting up. I want to share with you really super quick about.
The dog.
Yeah, let's get the dog out of here. So maybe we can move him out completely. So the business coaching course starts, it's a 12-week, and it's perpetual, so you have lifetime access. He just hit the camera again, to the program, and it's starting on August 17th for back to school. So it's a 12-week program that goes over how to get yourself out there. It's for yogis, artists, and creatives. So you can use my decade in over 12 years of experience, and I have several coaches that are on board that each have over a decade of experience in social media, marketing, and business coaching. And so we will be offering this to you as a virtual platform where you can take the course online and really work on getting your own personal offerings out there in the world. And we give you all the tools to get out there on social media, as well as email marketing, and how to do Facebook ads, and how to navigate Instagram stories and the lives and all the things that you do when you're a creative. So I would love to have you join that, and you can visit yogaforlove.com for that. But if you receive our newsletter, you can just get all that information in one little go by dropping your email at innergoddessretreats.org. So we will be sharing a little bit more about some of the upcoming retreats at the end again, but just to give you an overview, we're going to go ahead and get started with no further ado with our card reading. So we have a couple different cards here for you. Which one do you want to start with?
Let's go with the money cards.
Okay, so before we do that, you want to tell a little bit about you, and then we'll do our card pull, and then you can do the Astro Reading. Does that sound good?
Okay. So I'm Jamie again, and I've been a massage therapist for 18 years, yoga teacher since 2009. Just working in the healing arts realms. I also have been a DJ since the early 90s, so work with music, sound, and sound healing. Do some life coaching as well, and hold space in ceremonies, creating the tether with some intuitive instrument playing, music, guidance, maestroing, and channeling tones, frequencies, sounds, light language, and whatever comes through. And also play for doing ecstatic dance. So, is there anything I'm leaving out on that?
Well, you do
Bag of
coaching.
tricks. Bag of tricks.
Your coaching combines like body work, like releasing energy in the tissues and having like discussions with what's happening.
going on in your body. What's your body got to say?
So, yeah.
What's being held there. So my yoga as well as my massage practice, massage is beyond a massage. So we go into, what energetic blockages within the body, what the body is speaking, places that it's stored actually, and how it's related to, what that could be tied to, what aspect of life, or stored traumas, pain, things that have been suppressed in the body, which loop that back around in a little bit of how we are at a point in which we must release all of that and let it go.
Yeah, it's
because
definitely...
you can't step into your highest self without letting it all go. So that's what I help you do.
So let's talk about these cards, because these are really amazing cards. We've been working with these. They're from Hawaii, and they are mana, which is prana, life force, ki, chi, and so this is the cards where we work with the life force energy, and it uses a lot of archetypes and healing energies from Hawaii. So we'll do a card reading from here. We just came back from Hawaii, so we'll tell you a little bit about our favorite spots and things like that after this reading. So let's go ahead and pick our cards.
Do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Here. You pull.
Okay.
And I'll read.
All right. Sounds good. All right. So those of you that are on live, or if you catch in the replay, this energy is really powerful. So just tap into your guides, your spirit guides, your angels, your archangels, your power animals, and ask that whatever is on your heart come through for this reading for you, whether you're catching it in real time or the recording. This is specifically for you. You're here for a reason. And so we're super excited that you're here. I can see that y'all are joining. So, hey, thank you so much for joining, y'all. I'm glad you're here. And we do these readings on the new and the full moon. We missed last month because we were in Hawaii, but this month we'll be here again on the new moon. And we're about to move into the Lion's Gate of Leo. Right now we're in the Aquarius energy, and this is the buck moon. This is the energy of when the Native Americans named it when the little guys would get their horns, and also the bucks would also start to regain their horns, their antlers, excuse me. So that's why it's called the buck moon. And we are in the age of Aquarius. We are in the Aquarius moon, so everything right now is lining up for you to step fully into your power. And so I've got 3 cards here that I just drew. And so we're going to look at what these look like for you. First of all, came in upside down, the huna. So huna here is, let me see if we can get the reflection off there. There you go. So huna, and you can see there's 2 mallets. I'm going to show you a little closer for y'all that are joining us on Instagram. And so let's look at this. So we're looking at stepping into our power, using our tools, asking for what direction we're supposed to be going. So let's look at that for our intention for our reading, along with the intention that you set yourself. So if you have a specific intention, also drop that in the comments so we can definitely see here where you're at and help you a little further, a little deeper after this video.
So Huna is the card is related to hidden or secrets.
Okay.
So the symbol for this card is a sign that means kapu, or forbidden. Kapu are restrictions on behavior that are believed to have been implemented in Hawaii by a Tahitian named Pa'ao. Besides kapu, Pa'ao, excuse my Hawaiian, I'm trying, brought human sacrifice to the islands. He built temples dedicated to human sacrifice, such as Waha'ula on the island of Hawaii. That solidified his power and locked into place a restrictive kapu system. The kapu system forbade sharing the knowledge of the kahuna, which is the priests. The word huna means that which is hidden or not obvious, and it is used in modern times to refer to a sacred system of knowledge about the nature of the universe that empowers the practitioner. Kahuna is commonly used to refer to Hawaiian priests or priestesses, but in ancient times...
So we've heard kahuna, but this is huna. So...
Right, kahuna.
Okay, gotcha.
It's commonly used to refer to a Hawaiian... Okay. But in ancient times, doctors, lawyers, architects, scientists, and agriculturalists were also considered kahuna because they shared esoteric knowledge. Serge King, a teacher of Hawaiian spirituality, describes the history of the kahuna as followed.
So let's skip over that. Let's just not go over the history. But let's just talk about the wrap up of you can research the history of the kahuna.
Right. But it does go into the Pleiades here.
Yeah, just stands out. But yeah, that's a lot of research.
Yeah. So at some point in time, long before the rise of Atlantis, a race of beings came to the solar system for a group of stars known as the Pleiades. Most of the starmen beings settled on a continent in the Pacific known today in the story as Mu. They called the people of Mu, but others called them Manahuna or Menahune.
Hune are the little people.
The people of the secret power.
Which is our next card. Total tie-in there.
So that's why I couldn't skip it.
Yeah.
Their knowledge was Huna, a fundamental philosophy for successful living. They began to teach this knowledge to the men or people of Earth. Because many different languages were spoken and because their own was particularly telepathic and difficult to learn, the teachers of Mu created a new language that was simple to learn. This language was structured to contain the Huna knowledge within it in a way that would ensure its survival for as long as the language remained in use. Today, we know that language as Polynesian, and traces of it are found all over the world. Let's see. King goes on to say that due to a great war, the planet tumbled into new orbit further from the sun, and the stress of the change caused intense volcanic and earthquake activity. Old lands sank beneath the seas, and new lands rose, and others. Little people from Mu were blamed for the disasters, frequently persecuted, so they were forced into hiding. Traces of them are found stories around the world that tell of a race of little people and their magical capabilities. King claims that much of the knowledge of Mu has been preserved by a group of psychics who live in different parts of the world who are telepathically linked to one another. Until recently, they worked contentedly behind the scenes for the good of humanity. However, King says that due to the current changes in communication, the expansion of consciousness, and our growing need to understand alternative realities, their knowledge needs to be spread as far and wide as possible. And the other Hawaiian spiritual teachers also feel that now is the time for sharing the wisdom of Hawaiian spiritual teachings.
Okay, well, yeah. So what does that take away?
So it's the secrets. So the secrets are being revealed, right? Like all the truths are coming out. rising up to, the new, we're moving into this new age. We're still in the process. It's a transitional phase. There is no like, oh, now we've gone from Pisces to Aquarius. It's all in transition, but we're in full movement into this new age.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is different.
Yeah, have you noticed? Just saying, just hashtag just saying, because everything, not even just some things, like everything.
Yeah, but it's all being revealed. So in the inner world being revealed, our truths, it's time to not hide anything anymore. And in the outer world, things are being called out constantly, injustices and imbalances. It's all happening. It's kind of what the timing is. So as we wrap into the astro, it's like directly connected here.
Yeah. Okay. Good. We're gonna pull that in here in a moment. As we finish this card reading, I'm pulling the astrological, what's happening with our solar system and our own planetary systems. So the Menehune were directly related in this card reading, but it's also the next card through. So Menehune are the little people, sometimes fae, fairies, sprites, leprechauns, elves, that kind of energy. And when we were in the Big Island of Hawaii, one of the most impressive things on the Big Island that I love is that there's a lot of really, really ancient history there. King Kamehameha created he incorporated all of the islands to be under one ruler, and he did that through community. And he also took 10,000 men over a course of several years to build this wall along the western coast of Hawaii. And the Menehune are the ones that help to put those things there, because the walls were built without mortar. There's a specific way that the walls were built, where the rocks just energetically lock into each other. And it's impressive because that wall goes all the way along the whole entire coast, and it's still in existence and
stable.
Yeah, it's not crumbling, and it's beautiful. It's made out of lava rock, and you have the cloud rest in the mountains up on this side of the highway, and then on the other side of the highway, it goes down over this humongous lava field right to the ocean, and that wall runs that whole length. So it's really impressive. So what's the takeaway on the Menehune?
Well, you know what? Like, I flipped this page, and I just felt like I need to throw this little piece out still with the Huna, and then I'll break down this Menehune as well. But what this interpretation is saying, sometimes we place kapu ourselves that restrict and limit our possibilities. Moving beyond such limitations requires that we increase our possibilities by becoming aware of alternatives. One way to do so is to draw upon a philosophy called Huna, a blend of Hawaiian and Western teachings that is based on the following 7 principles. 1, you create your own reality. 2, you are unlimited. 3, you get what you concentrate on.
Mm-hmm.
4, the moment of power is now. 5, to love is to be happy with. 6, all power comes from within. Mana. Effectiveness is the measure of truth.
Okay. Well, those are really great principles to live by, and these teachings are ancient teachings for a reason, because they are perpetual and they are endless. So, yeah. So,
all right. So the Menehune, as she said, are the little people. So as hardworking and creative spirits, the Menehune have been compared to the creative sparks which shoot across the universe. The way the Menehune work is perceived as mysterious and incomprehensible, although they often accomplish amazing things. Perhaps you can gain some clues to the understanding of the mysterious Menehune, if you consider what it takes to use the stonework that they are best known for. Stonework requires that many small elements fit together to make up a finished structure and demand close attention to detail. Menehune do not work alone. When one works, thousands of others work also.
There's that sense of community.
So the Hawaiian word mene can mean to step back, as it is used in the Hawaiian expression I menemai I hope. Menehune may appear to remind you that sometimes it is necessary to step back from whatever it is that you're working on in order to. There are multiple ways to accomplish a task. Get the job done. Zoom the fuck out.
Yeah, the ego perspective is so important, because it caught in the minutia and our world gets really small. We get so focused in on the tiny things that it's harder for us to see a picture of what the Spirit's actually wanting you to see. So just remember, when you're really caught in something and you're in that snare of spiraling, and it's just take a moment to pull yourself out from your perspective and see a little wider, try to see a little bit past the immediate situation.
Yeah. When we can zoom out, it becomes not so intense, so we can see like all the aspects,
Right.
rather than when we zoom into the microscopic, we can get really caught up in the chaos or the feels and the emotions or the turmoil. You can be caught in the rapids right here, but if you zoom out, you realize it's a big river and just right down there, it's like nice and smooth. So,
Right. And speaking of the stones too, I would like to speak to the fact that when things are really turbulent, the river full of stones, even though the current looks like it's channeling and smooth, when it hits all the rapids and splashes, that means there's all these stones under there that's causing that turbulence. And so when we start to remove those stones and place them in a perfect order like the Menehune do, we can channel that flow, that energy flow, to be moving in a fashion where it's not hitting things and splashing up and causing turbulence. But it's only that we do that stone work, when we do that work of removing those stones from inside of us, those things that are blocking the flow of prana, of mana, of life force, of energy, then that starts with us. So if we're zoomed out onto a situation that's external, the to take the camera and turn it back to yourself, and like, where are these blockages coming up for me? Like, that might be someone else's shit, excuse my French, but it's rising something up in me. Mm-hmm. And why is it triggering something up in me? So that means I need to do the work in me, because I can't do the work for you, but I can do the work for me. I can share some tools with you, but you have to also choose to pick up the tools. You can pick up the knife by the sharp end, or you can pick up the knife by the handle. It's your choice. You can pick it up two different ways. And it's going to be used two different ways if you choose to pick it up by the sharp end or by the handle, right?
Right. But if you are caught in the rapids and you're drowning, it's really hard to see that you could move the rocks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you're getting by it. You're like,
so you gotta zoom out to see, there's this piece is causing the blockage or the disturbance.
Yeah, and that's why it also takes others.
Let that go.
It's hard to do the work by yourself if you can't see it. And so if you're having to, that's when you need people in your life as coaches. To a coach, reach out to us on a private message. We're here to help you do the work on one-on-one basis, through energy Reiki, through healing, through sound healing, through yoga, through coaching. But, if you have somebody in your life that can also be a sounding board for you, that also has an unbiased perspective and also has some training behind them. You don't want to reach out just to some random person who's also in it and drowning with you, right? So you want to reach up and reach out. So you're not in this alone. We're all in this together. We all need each other right now. You know, my space, I reach out and up to my peers and my friends and my sisters. You know, I have a very close bond with a lot of women that, you know, the turbulence of this last 7 months, I have not connected with, and in connecting and making those personal one-on-one connections, we have the ability to rise up and help each other pull each other water, throw someone a lifeline. That's what we're here for.
You have to do it for yourself, but you don't have to do it by yourself.
You have to grab the lifeline. Like the lifeline can float by, and you could just drown. You know, but that's also, it's there. It's always there. So, anything else on this one before we move to the last one?
Because the men and women who work at night, it is easy to overlook tremendous discipline and occasionally dull details that their creations require. It is often easy to overlook the incredible effort that has gone into the creative works, the relationships of others. This may be the mystery of the men and women's seemingly magical ability to get things done. Patience, persistence, attention to detail, and an ability to ask for assistance when necessary.
Well, there you go. So, totally on point.
Use this with the men and women to produce a truly spectacular achievement.
So there is always community there for you. There's also always your spirit guides and your angels and your archangels and your power animals to help you. You may feel like you're doing this alone and there's nobody else that understands you, but there is so many that are on this level with you. That's why you're here. That's why we're talking to you now, because we're talking to you, Star Seed. We're talking to you, Worker. We're talking to you, Goddess, to rise up into your power. And it takes all to rise up, to raise the vibration of our planet. So that's really where we're at. We are not in an optional phase. We signed up for this. We are here in this very, very moment, which we'll go right into Astro Reading and talk about that here in a moment. But this is what we're here to do. And so until you actually show up and start doing that, you're going to be hitting those rocks. You're going to crash your head. You're going to, try to scramble out the side. But you have to do that self-work before you can be clear enough to do the work on a larger level. So this next card is the La Ama Amo. And this is right here. I'm going to show y'all a little bit of reflection on there.
La Ama Mao. What's that say? La Ama Mao. La Ama
La Ama Amo. That's how I would say it. Okay. So what does it mean?
The goddess of wind. Atonement. I'm going to go to the interpretation. La Ama Omo means distant sacredness. Her winds teach that acceptance and atonement are necessary steps on the road to attainment. Like Maui, sometimes our egos fly away from us and we attempt to tackle more than we can handle. Maui ignored the warnings of the keeper of the wind. Things got out of control. By having less ambitious goals, slowing down and observing what was around him, Maui regained his sense of perspective. Sometimes surrendering may enable you to breeze through a situation.
Let's pause with that, because that's huge. Well, first of all, she has worked directly with the energy of Maui.
More to come.
Has the Puleku, is that it? Puleku is the Maui's hook around her neck. It's a very trickster energy. It's very much so about surrendering and being in it and watching things play out while you're actually in the play. Like I was talking to a good friend yesterday about, you're on stage, you're the player in the play, but you're also the director, and you're also there. And so you're seeing all these levels while it's still playing.
observer.
And the observer, also the audience. So like you are all these pieces, and it's happening all simultaneously. And if you can zoom out enough, you can see it happening in the moment while you're actually in the situation. So rendering.
And if you're a clear enough channel, it just plays out like you're literally like the universe's puppet. It plays out through you, and you're like trying to catch the receipt in the air. Oh, it's just
okay. You got to tell that story. This is hilarious. So as soon as we do this reading, she's going to tell the story about the receipt at the airport in Hawaii, because this is the kind of stuff that happens. Like when you work with these archetypes, you literally see it happening in the moment. You call it and you see it, and do you see this happening? And it's still happening, and it still has to finish. You just surrender to it.
And it essentially triggers other people, and it's
does.
like it's put there to trigger other people, and you know that you're triggering other people. It's not intentional. It's not on purpose. Literally just the character doing the thing. And
right.
I'm observing this happening. You see that this is happening. All right, let's see. A Hawaiian word for atonement is kalahala. Kala means to loosen, untie, free, release, unburden, let go, take off.
What's that word again?
Kala.
Kala.
And hala means that the time has passed.
Hala.
As in the expression hala no kala.
Okay, well there you go.
The day indeed passes, enough for the day. Not only is it all right to fail, but failure may be a necessary component of the learning process.
Mm-hmm.
Those who are able to successfully navigate to where they want to go know that they can only go as fast as the winds will take them. To attempt to go beyond natural limits may endanger yourself and others. Maui was courageous enough to risk failure and wise enough to learn from his mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be afraid to raise up your dreams while maintaining a firm grasp on what is possible. Acknowledging your limitations prevents you from getting carried away. Allow the fresh breezes of La'ama'ama'o to gently guide you towards your full potential.
So when you work with the spirit of the wind, she will come to you when you need confirmation. She'll speak to you and move maybe just one tree. Like it's so apparent. You're like, okay, that one tree is moving and none of these other trees are blowing. Like
just the one.
She'll speak.
Last night I noticed it outside in the back.
I just see
one tree.
Excuse me.
None of the others. Tons of trees in the back. One tree moved.
Yes. So the wind worked through her with the Maui energy when we were in Hawaii, and our day was again tender. It was our last day in Hawaii. We were there almost 3 weeks, and we're like, we've started a sunset practice, so we didn't want to miss the sunset, but our timing required us. We had 2 giant gear cases with all our instruments and our shamanic tools and things like that for our retreat that we were holding. We had 2 trips back and forth up the mountain because we could only get a convertible. They were out of optimal. Of course, we could have gotten a basic 4-door car, but they had a convertible at the same price. And we're like, yeah, we're getting the convertible. And so we could only 1 gear case in our suitcases, so we had to make 2 trips. And so the way that it aligned, everyone's on island time there. And so we got to the airport and no one was at the counter, and we're like, oh my God, we have to still go back up the mountain. Well, we didn't have to go up the mountain. We had to go back up to the condo area. We had our other piece of luggage and drop off more bags.
30 minutes there, 30 minutes back.
Yeah, and so then
we don't have so much time.
So yeah, so we got to see the sunset, which made it perfect timing. And then we got back. I had to return the rental car. She had to scan all the bags, pack items. She had to repack the items while at the counter, because they were overweight
and they're at the counter. They're going, ma'am, it's time. Bags may not make it. You don't get on the flight. You have to get this
Not
done.
even in a stressful place. We're not even anxiety. There's
Just
no.
rolling with it.
Yeah.
Just rolling with it. I've got 3 pieces of luggage. One is overweight. The other 2 are really full. So I have to remove something from the one piece and shove it all into the other 2 pieces. So I'm literally got luggage open on the ground, and they're going, ma'am.
And it's an outdoor airport. There's like nobody there. Everybody's already in line.
Just shoving stuff, get it all in there, get it all, get it on the thing, and they're like, they're kind of,
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm catching the rental bus to come back, try to get back before they shut off the last bus. I'm running back up, and I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, oh my God, I had to repack luggage. And so we go to get in line.
She runs back as I finish. We go ahead and get into line. We have to go through the TSA.
Basically a lady sitting in a chair.
Right.
In Hawaii. It's not like official like Chicago airport. Yeah. If you can imagine.
And with
open air,
so
one person.
Everybody's just waiting to be done.
So they get off work.
So she's standing there. She's like, I need your license. Which is in my pocket. I've had it accessible. And Maui energy comes up. I'm like reaching in my pocket. And literally, it's a tiny wallet. I can't get it out of the pocket. And like I'm doing everything to get it somehow. It's kind of caught within the pocket. It just like won't come out. Like it's not happening. Like okay. And she's like, I need your license. I need your license. And I'm like, I am obviously have my hand in my phone. Obviously trying to get it. And I get the wallet out and I open it up, and there's no license because I had left it at the other counter.
So here comes this guy. Hey, ma'am.
But right in that moment, the guy pops up behind.
Literally on time.
Here's your license and your card, your debit card.
It's like the universe saying, Q, enter a guy with license. Oh, right here.
So behind this lady are 2 guys that are also waiting for us to come through because they're the ones that have to scan us, do the body scans and everything.
I went through. I was in, yeah.
She gets the license, she does the thing, she hands me a receipt. I take the receipt and I'm trying to stick the wallet back in the pocket, around with, our carry-on, our basic, backpack, the rest of our stuff. We're coming around, they're waiting for us. A gust of wind comes through.
Tiny, random, no other wind.
Vortex of wind. The receipt flies out of my hand. And then it proceeds to stay in one spot, but flutter, like around, like this. And I'm trying to catch it. It's like trying to catch a bird, like it's here. It's not flying off. It's just fluttering around, literally to the point. And the guys are like, come on, people. And I'm like, do you see? I'm like pointing at it as it's fluttering around, like it's still fluttering. I'm pointing at it, like, do you see that this is happening? Can you see that this is going on? I'm not making this happen. I'm trying to catch it. You see that this is happening, right? Like, this is reality taking place right here, right now. And they're kind of oblivious to the fact that this is going on, but I'm watching it as the observer, knowing that this is out of my hands. I have no control over this, but yet it is playing out through me. It's this character is happening. I finally catch the receipt in the air, put it in the pocket.
When she's like, you have 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Like, we know. Like, everybody else is already in line. We know. Like, we're fully aware that everybody else is already in line. Thanks. Get on the plane, everything's cool.
Everything was.
But those things that happen when you are observing and you're surrendering. It's like, the things are going to play out. You can't make it
up. It's just like.
Yeah. So, those are things that happen.
In that moment, I could have got really mad. I could have got triggered. I could have got frustrated. I could have reacted in a multitude of ways to what was happening.
Yeah. Have any of y'all had anything like that happen? Drop it in the comments, because I would love to hear your stories. This is something that happens the more you are in those serendipitous moments, and especially if you carry the trickster energy, coyote, the heyoka, the Maui energy, you'll start noticing these things coming up. So yes, there's many other stories about the Hawaiian archetypes that we'll share with you, that we've worked with and saw actually play out in the observer role while we're in it, while we're over there. But some of the favorite takeaways were really just being on the reef and in the water. I was in my full mermaid form, just incredible. Oh, so beautiful.
In case you guys didn't notice, like, she's like for real.
So I was in my element, I should say, to say that I was the first time I actually landed and grounded in 7 months, really, after leaving my old home, going through several moves, going through a divorce, going through turbulence and instability, and then just landing on the big island. The big island is root chakra. It's the newest earth on the planet. It's completely transformational. It works with the energy. Well, the energy is the archetype of goddess Pele, and she is the energy of birth and creation and destruction. And without death, destruction, there is no birth. There's no rebirth. And so, literally being in that death and destruction and in the rebirth process in my own life, going through a shamanic death, going through a period of loss of relationship, not only with my soon-to-be ex-husband, but also all of the people who were triggered by my process and still by my process. And if you're triggered by my process, zoom out. Why is it triggering you? What is it rising up? Why is that something that even affects other people? I'm not quite clear, but it's playing out through me as I walk in my truth. And in my truth, I see it playing out through my life, and I see it rising other people, and they have an action. And again, my job is to let it go, surrender, knowing that that's not my piece. It might feel weird or yucky, and if it feels weird or yucky, then I can give it back and say, here's your yucky stuff. Take it. It's mine. I have my own stuff that I'm working on, but whatever this is, yours here. Work with it or run from it. But it's going to catch up to you. You're going to hit your head on that boulder, eventually going down in the current if you don't move them. Those boulders are still there, and you're going head first down the river. You're going to hit your head. So I'm here to help serve in that, to help navigate through that process, not only on my own, but also for y'all. And so just landing and grounding and being in the water and swimming with these amazing animals and swimming with the honu, the dolphin, the sea turtles. Oh my gosh, y'all. It's incredible. So we have a condo over there. We will be back. We don't have a retreat planned for 2022. So we're working on Costa Rica for next year for our destination retreat. But we will be back to Hawaii. So just go to innergoddessretreats.org and join so you know what's going on. And you can always jump in whenever you can, either on a live or a video or on an online training or actually out of in-person retreat. So what was some of the favorite takeaways from Hawaii? What was some of your favorite moments or favorite spots? What would you recommend people to do? Not the tourist stuff. That's the stuff that you could just do at any beach town, USA, Mexico, whatever, Caribbean. That's not what we do when we do our retreats. We dive into the culture and into the medicine of the land.
Pu'uko is just,
it's an internationally researched and preserved marine reef, and probably the most immaculate reef I've ever snorkeled. But Kalakekua Bay also is amazing. There's a sacred site there, which is a site of the Ho'oponopono. King Kamehameha had a spot there, and we just on my YouTube, I posted the Ho'oponopono chant that we sang when we were there, and I'll share that on my page for y'all. I don't think I've ever shared it, but those just were amazing.
Absolutely. Swimming, snorkeling with all the sea life and the creatures and turtles and the octopus.
Yes, we got to see an octopus. He's kind of playing and hiding. And he acted like we couldn't see him, but we knew he could see him and he could see us, and we all went looking at each other.
And that's one of my, my animals, one of my spirit animals. So the octopus and the turtle both, and we had this little tour guide by a sea turtle that took us through.
She's saying the sea turtle was our tour guide.
He was a tour guide. We were swimming, and he just came up underneath me, and then
there's three of us just following.
He came out in front of me, and then he turned his head back and looked at me and was like, "Come on!"
And so we all started going.
She was on the side, and she came up, and then Michelle, my yoga teacher, who this was a whole circle. 15 years later, finally being in the same, both of us being on the island together. We're swimming, and he's like, "Come on, you guys!" And he
kept looking back, and he took us over some scary, deep crevasses, and I would not have entered that without him as a guide. It was intense because reef was really column-like, and then it would go really deep and dark, and he was like, "Oh, this is my house, y'all," and he would take us over those deep, dark places, and we were
it would just open up, and there would just be super deep sand on the bottom, and then you would come up to another column, and then other little crevices within it.
He took us 10-15 minutes. We followed him.
Beautiful.
And he was like, "Look, this is my place. This is my home. Welcome to my home." And it was so beautiful. We saw so many sea turtles this trip.
So many.
I mean, they just love to just slide up with the current on the beach and just sun themselves, and they'll fall asleep in the sun, and they're just super chill. And so people just leave them alone. The Big Island is super unpopulated. So it's not like you would see in the Hawaii pictures where everyone's at the pool with a drink. It's not like that at all. So it's beautiful.
There's spots that you can.
There is. You can do that. But yeah. So let's talk about the Astro Reading. There's something coming up here. There we go. Hey y'all. So good to see you.
The Astro.
So much coming up.
So much happening. So the full moon is in Aquarius,
and we are in that Aquarian age, so
we're moving into we'll just hit Leo season, so the Lion, and we've got the Lionsgate portal coming up,
8/8
on
so
8/8
meditation.
Was that week and a half or so, whatever that time is?
Anyway, it's August 8th. That week we'll be doing a meditation.
Yeah. So we recently had the Venus-Mars conjunction that was happening. So that was the moon was there, and then it was really bright beside the moon because Venus and Mars were literally right in alignment with each other. So it made it extra bright.
So you got the divine masculine, the divine feminine, and then within that lunar energy.
Balance.
Yes.
And so it's essentially that occurring is bringing us into this balance within self of that, or triggering things to come into balance within ourselves of the divine masculine and feminine, so that we can move forward in a more clear, balanced state. And the Jupiter is also doing it's retrograde in Aquarius, and then it'll be coming back into Pisces. So it's over like through October, this whole transition is happening. Really the overall, I'll be straight up honest, I've been so in it that I'm like, what's happening in the stars? So I try to keep a little bit of a connection to it, but I'm a little off on what's actually happening. But I can tell you that the energies that are taking place are essentially, we are in this phase of just letting it go. We're hitting this fire. We're going to fire.
The sun is in Leo, so Leo is about
fire sign.
Your roar, embodying your roar. The lion energy is fierce and also loving and playful.
Mm-hmm.
And working with that lion energy, it's working with Sirius. So this energy is a portal that opens up every year, but it never closes anymore. It used to kind of close down and open back up, but the energy now is just full on. And then during this portal around 8/8, it just expands, and it's like this channel that's opening. So stepping into the Leo sun,
right,
is like stepping into that.
Also, the sun's, that's its home,
Mm-hmm.
right? The sun in Leo, that it's happy place.
Yeah, I'm Leo rising, so that's rising sign is also how you show up in the world. So I show up as a Leo. I'm a Virgo, but I show up as a Leo.
So the sun is in Leo, but the moon is in Aquarius, and that's opposite.
Mm-hmm.
They are opposite signs, so they're literally that masculine and feminine opposition
balance
taking place, coming into that balance. But when we bring that into that unity, then we can move forward with that roar, with that letting go, releasing, and clearing, so that we can step up and speak that truth and be our truth and live our truth.
So right now, like the sun is in the masculine, the moon is in the feminine. So they're in their rightful places right now as far as what is balanced within our own beings. So it's a good time right now to really find that balance. And the moon is in that introspective space, the emotional space, the divine feminine space, and being in Aquarius, stepping fully into this Aquarius age, it's like time for the divine feminine to step fully into the power with the empowerment of that Leo Lionsgate, the sun, solar power, like all of that is a perfect opportunity for you to step right into your power. And it's like all the cards are lined up, all the dominoes are in a row, they're all going to fall perfectly, but only when you come into that place of surrender.
Mm-hmm. And then, well, also the Black Moon Lilith is in Gemini, which is also bringing forth that rising of the feminine and really like calling that energy out. It's time for that the true feminine to step forward, that empowered feminine, which we have been building up to for years, but it's really time for us to embody that and bring
this
that
is
forward.
why here it is this perfect moment. So what are you here to do? Like, let's take a moment to explore why you're here. What did you sign up to do? Where are you off point? How can you bring that on point? What can you eliminate out of your life? What can you hone out? What could you cut out? What could you fiercely burn out? What could you embrace right now, so that way you are fully walking within that truth? Anything outside your truth comes in as, first of all, you're not in alignment, and second of all, you're inauthentic to yourself. When you're inauthentic to self, you cannot show up in the world with your power because you're not speaking from a place of your own personal power. So where can you go back and pull in that power so you can fully embrace it and embody it and walk in that path? What is currently out of alignment in your life right now? Spirit is saying, cut all that shit out. Like, I've been telling you, it's like your grandma, like, I've been telling you and telling you and telling you, and now you poked your eye, you know, like, I told you, quit running with scissors. Don't run with scissors, you know, like, she's been telling us, y'all, all this time.
And what gets in the way? What is it that gets in the way and blocks our power, that keeps us from stepping into it? And that comes back to the programming that goes on in here that tells us that you're not good enough, you're not worthy,
it's not
you can't
time.
do it right. You
have to do this first.
Self-judgments or programs of judgments that we've received somehow from our outside reality that we let continue to go through, and we attach to those, we hang on to those, and we like let them keep us down. And if you can be the conscious observer of any of those thoughts as they come up and recognize, wait, that's a program, like that's not true, and then let that go, release that out of your body, out of your being, then you're clearing the way, literally clearing the way, so that you can be in that highest self, in that space with direct connection to source, to God, to
whatever you call it.
Yeah, whatever you call it.
Something
It's
greater
a
than
higher
yourself.
energy exists. And we
have access to it. Like,
absolutely.
The only time we don't have access is when we're like, oh, I'm going to shut the window off.
But when we block it,
I'm going to close my sunroof.
Old programs.
Mm-hmm. It is like a sunroof, really.
Mm-hmm.
You got the moonroof and the sunroof. You're going to open both at this point. You know, you can't just have the sunroof closed and the moonroof open, you know, or vice versa. You have to have both open. And that lets in the divine masculine, the divine feminine. And we're going to hear a little bit more about the Christ consciousness, white light, how it comes in. And, you know, we'll talk more about in the Lionsgate when we do the live meditation and actually bring you into that space. But it's the divine feminine working with the divine masculine, and that both comes in as a violet flame. It comes in through this portal. But if we're closing off the moonroof or we're closing off the sunroof, like either one of those is closed, we're not going to be able to let that energy in. And we're the only ones that have the controls. We press the button, open, close, you know, so we can open that space up. It's just a matter of saying yes to the universe. We tell people in our coaching calls all the time, we coach everybody who comes to our retreats. I coach all my yoga teachers during my program, and we tell everybody all the time that, like, if you're in a maybe, the universe is in its holding pattern. Like, you know, you're circling around the airport and it's looking for an open runway. Oh, there's a plane there. And it's circling around again. Oh, well, there's a plane there. And you've got maybe another couple circles, and it's going to find another airport because there's not any landing pad. You know, so you've got to make sure that you have that open runway for that plane to come in. And that's that universal energy life force where we have to space for it to come in. And that's just removing all the shit. You know, and honestly, if you just take off your table and take your arm and just sweep it off, you know, I didn't mean to sweep that on you. So we'll sweep it off. So yeah, just sweeping your energy field, using the tools of meditation and yoga and energy healing and sound healing and crystal healing, and with your spirit animals, your power animals, your guides, and sitting at your altar space every day, you know, creating that open, clear channel, so that way when those opportunities come in, I'm like, yes, 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 yes. You know, it's not let me check with my husband. Let me look at my calendar and see, it looks like 2022, maybe June. You know, like, no, that's not how it works. Like, the door is open, the plane is coming in, you better create a space for the runway, the runway to be clear, because otherwise that train is gone.
And go to somebody else that is willing to create the space for it.
And that's true. These ideas and these opportunities are in collective consciousness. It's literally the first portal, and the first person that acts on it is going to bring it through.
Yeah, it's the monkey washing the potato. Like, there was this thing done where, like, they threw a bunch of potatoes out on this beach where these monkeys lived, and eventually like they would pick up the potatoes and they were covered in sand and they didn't really like it. But one monkey decided he was going to wash the potato in the water, and then he was able to eat it without any sand. But there were multiple islands, multiple monkeys, and they dropped potatoes in all these places. When this monkey decided he was going to learn how to wash it, the monkeys on the other island knew how to wash the potatoes.
What?
Yeah. So it's a collective consciousness. So information comes in. We're all open to receive this information as it's time, as it starts to come in. But it's the ones that actually like respond to it that get the. So you may see patterns where like certain types of products come out at the same time. It's because there was a collective download that was like, it was time for that to come out, and multiple people acted on it, and so you get different versions of the same product.
Right. And so that's gonna.
You may have had thoughts like, oh man, I like this product came out, and like 10 years ago I had the thought of making that thing.
Yeah. So this is the time to act on that, which, to circle back to our business coaching course, it's if you are a yogi, an artist, or a creative, and you have these ideas and these offerings and these things that you want to bring out in the world, and you just want to take that and compress it into a 12-week period where you can go from idea, find your why, find your mission statement, really align all of that with your purpose, to actually having something to produce and actually sell in the world in 12 weeks instead of 10 years, then you should do this course. This is, super affordable too. Right now I have it on 50% off, so it's normally $297, so it's $149. And it starts on August 17th with the group coaching, but you can start the program anytime, and you also have lifetime access to the program. You get personal coaching with myself and my coaches. And so we have a coaching group on WhatsApp, and we also have a Facebook coaching group, and we give you feedback on all of your ideas. And so this is like, okay, well, here's what I want to do in the world. How can I bring this from concept to actually bringing it through in the world? It's time right now to act on those things, because if you don't, someone else is already creating it. And there's room. There's no lack of abundance here. Like, there is plenty of customers for all kinds of things that you have, but people are waiting for you to bring out your thing, not something like it. They're waiting for you to come through and bring through that thing. There's literally people in the universe lining up as soon as you open that door and turn on your store. Those people are there.
Put in your puzzle piece. We each have one, and it makes up one giant puzzle.
Right.
If you don't put your piece in, the puzzle complete.
It's true. It's true. We all have to do our piece. Literally. And so you can sign up at innergoddessretreats.org to get our newsletter. I'll shoot out some information about the business coaching course. It's also at store.yogaforlove.com. It's yoga and the number 4love.com. You can find it there. Also, make sure you follow our new Instagram channel, which is templesacredheart. We will be reposting everything there, also sharing about our journey there. And you can follow our group for our tribe at Y4L Goddess Tribe on Instagram as well. I'm way more active on Instagram than I am on Facebook, so if you want to connect with me, you can send me a DM there. And it's Yoga for Love, Lisa. So we want to make sure that we connect with you on a personal level. If you want to do some coaching, you want to do a private reading, you want to do a full tarot reading, you want to do a sound healing session, we are available for those things. Just message us a link to book it. So thank you so much for joining today. I'm going to give you one final card pull as an oversee of this energy that we're working with. She pulled out the Earth Warrior deck. All right, go ahead. Pull the cards.
Are you going to read it?
No. I don't have my glasses on. You can read it, but I will read the card, and you can read the thing, like the full reading. This reading is, we're going to with an activation. So these cards are amazing. They're by Aiylah Fairchild, Earth Oracle. The first one was Mana cards that we read from by Kathleen Kalana Becker and Doyen Nard. So these are the two that we're doing the readings from today. What we got? Cha Aksha, Star of Venus. Venus star. Okay, so we're working within the Venus energy right now. Venus has been extremely prevalent in our night sky, if you're catching this live. But the Venus energy is an overseeing goddess archetype energy, and she is extremely beautiful. Her energy is it's powerful, it's transformative, and it brings you into alignment with your divine feminine.
Just like one line in. I like that.
All right, let's hear it. So stay tuned for this, and we're going to wrap up with an activation.
Chaska, a star of Venus, supports an inner shift to higher consciousness. Whether or not you consider yourself to be financially skillful, part of your sacred power and purpose includes the healing of economic and financial matters in your own life and the world. You are meant to experience abundance, creating and sharing prosperity from a place of inner spiritual security. A healing liberation from poverty conscious allows the universe to work through you more easily without the obstruction of negative conditionings. Financial healing is indicated. Let go of fear and trust unconditionally that the universe is supporting you. What brings you a sense of joy, purpose, and passionate devotion? This is like every talking about yesterday, wasn't it? Focus on that. Believe in your ability to thrive by being and expressing your authentic self. Notice how you relax into and more easily attract what you need when you acknowledge that the universe wants you to flourish through being you.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Focus on putting your beautiful beliefs out into the world, not in consuming the negativity or fear of others. Give of your spirit abundantly. Nothing is beyond the reach of divine assistance. Trust in this, and you can fulfill your purpose of being a positive influence in the world. So,
yes, total wrap up. Perfect. So what's the activation? Let's do the activation.
Let's see. Place one hand on your heart and say aloud.
Okay, say it with us.
I give thanks for the abundance of grace.
I give thanks for the abundance of grace.
Available for all beings.
Available for all beings.
I open my heart to let go.
I open my heart to let go
of diminishing beliefs and interpretations of events.
And interpretations of events.
I no longer carry fear in my heart.
I no longer carry fear in my heart.
My heart is filled with trust and peace.
My heart is filled with trust and peace.
I give thanks for divine intervention.
I give thanks for divine intervention.
Innovation.
And
blessing on behalf of all beings.
And blessing on behalf of all beings.
In all matters.
Of
economics.
Great Spirit of
Love.
Great Spirit of love.
Please guide, assist, and protect.
Please guide, assist, and protect.
Each one of us in all worldly matters.
Each one of us in all worldly matters.
It says stand facing west or to the left if you prefer.
Well, we're already facing west.
Okay. Hold out your left arm, palm facing upward, and say aloud. By the evening star.
By the evening star.
I now give over to the great beloved Spirit.
I now give over to the great beloved Spirit.
All matters of concern.
All matters of concern.
May be held in your hand, resolved by your grace.
That they be held in your hand, resolved by your grace.
Your hand may feel heavy, but hold it softly there until it feels light. It says now stand facing the east.
Okay, so I'm going to turn.
All right, hold out your right arm, I can't say this, palm facing.
Palm
facing. Upward and say aloud. by the morning star,
by the morning star,
the great divine beloved
the great divine beloved Spirit,
gifts me with all that I need
now gifts me with all I need
for divine fulfillment,
for divine fulfillment,
for the overflowing of divine grace,
for the overflowing of divine grace
into this world,
into this world,
so that love will flourish through all beings.
so that love will flourish through all beings.
Feel your right hand as touched by the spiritual light of the morning star and blessed. Place your hands in prayer. You have completed the healing process.
So perfect. As I turned around and did that activation on my altar, which I found from several years ago in my stuff when I moved, the one thing that frees us is love. And so it's aho. Thank you so much for joining us for this last hour. And we would love for you to, again, join us on an upcoming retreat, an event that we have online or in person. We have ceremonies in Texas. We have our autumn Texas Inner Goddess Retreat coming up in October. We have another one in spring in Texas. We have Costa Rica next summer, as well as Egypt this fall. So jump on innergoddessretreats.org and just click the sign up. It's a quick little one.
That's the end of November, start of December.
Yeah,
right?
it's a 2-week trip, November 28th through December 12th to Egypt. And so, yes, we are super excited. It's in conjunction with Paul Hubbard, who's an amazing holistic sound healer. And we will be visiting all the major temples and doing a Nile River cruise. It's a 5-star experience. Stay tuned for more of that. We're offering $700 off early bird. So think about that, as well as just jumping on and connecting with us on a DM or a page or a comment. And we do check all of our comments. So even if you're catching this later, and also if you think this will benefit one of your friends, just share the video. Make sure to subscribe, and we'll see you on the next chat. Namaste.
Namaste.
Love y'all so much.
Aloha.
Aloha and mahalo. Thank you for being here. Bye. Bye, y'all.